Hello and welcome. Today we're checking out something very special indeed. It's the Jeep Gladiator. And if you're wondering what that is, well, it's a Wrangler pickup truck. Now, it's not the first ever Wrangler pickup truck. That was the Comanche of the 70s and the 80s. But this is the first Wrangler pickup truck we're getting here. So, welcome to the Middle East. And we're talking about a 285 horsepower V6 under the hood. There is a diesel version in the US, but we're not going to get it probably. Our prices are 217,000 dirhams. And this one, the Rubicon, with all the off-road tricks and gadgets and quirks and features, is 242,000 dirhams. Now, in the US, they do come with a manual, and that's a real shame because we're not going to get it out here. We're only getting the 8-speed automatic, which is a good automatic, but it's kind of, I would like to drive a manual Jeep pickup truck. That would be kind of cool, but hey ho. Who is this aimed at? Somebody wants a truck that can go off-road, or somebody wants a Wrangler that can carry more stuff. It's kind of make me scratch my head a bit, and the pricing is quite high as well. 240,000 dirhams leaves this against the likes of the Raptor. And the Raptor has 450 horsepower and Fox racing shocks. Well, this too has Fox shocks, but not quite like those ones. And of course, there is a Bronco coming, and they say there's even going to be a Bronco pickup truck. So it's going to be a very, very crowded segment all of a sudden. But as of now, in terms of V6 engine, body on frame pickup trucks that have all the articulation in the world, the Gladiator kind of is in the class of one. Let's try to work out this puzzle and see if it hits the mark. So let's take a look at the Gladiator on the outside. I'm going to be pretty quick because it is quite windy today. So what have we got? Well, from the front, it's pretty much a stock Wrangler. We've even got the stock steel bumper that comes on the regular JL Wrangler with the red tow hooks that denote that this is, of course, a Rubicon version. There also has one cool feature here. You've got a front camera for rock crawling, and it's got a little washer down here. Or is it up there? Oh, it's down there. It's a washer. Otherwise, you've got your Rubicon hood vents, your Rubicon sticker down the side, and down here you've got Fox shocks, my favorite shocks of all. And these are pretty darn good tires as well. BFG KO2s in 285/70 or 33-inch size. You've also got rock rails down here. So these are actually strong enough to hold the vehicle. Check that out. It's a Wrangler that just keeps going. This is one of the few design elements of the Gladiator that I don't like. I wish that this door was actually a straight cut down to this fender. But because they took the same door from the JL Wrangler, that's the way it cuts. Because normally there's a wheel here, a wheel arch. Anywho, let's try to forgive that and move on. Again, Fox shocks at the back. 285/70. These are E-rated tires, so they're quite heavy duty. What have we got at the back? Tonneau cover, which is nice. This is a fabric one. I prefer a hard top one so you can stand on them. These ones can tend to flutter in the wind, but hey ho, it comes free with the car, can't complain. Red tow hooks and another red steel bumper. Rear reversing camera, big Jeep logo, no Gladiator logos anywhere on the car. Damped tailgate, how cool is that? Pretty much a standard pickup bed down here, and of course a safety kit that comes complimentary with every car. You've also got bed lighting. This is LED bed lighting that lights up at night, and a charging point, very big charging point actually. That's about it. Where's the spare tire? Because I always look for the spare tire, right? Well, in this case it's underneath the truck. Let's see what it's like in backseat, shall we? So here you find me in the back of the Jeep Gladiator, and what's it like? Well, before I start, I'm not actually put the camera really low to make you feel small. It's because the Gladiator is so high that that's about as high as my tripod goes. So what's it like? Well, I drove a Nissan Sunny recently, which is supposed to be comfortable for people, but this is actually way more comfortable. This is like tons of headroom, leg room, shoulder room. Everything's pretty good actually. I've got my trusty fold-down armrest with 2 cup holders, things that I like, and there are 2 more cup holders here on the ground. There are 2, well, these are the buttons that lower the windows, because as per Jeep tradition, they're always in the center. You've got a 400 watt power supply down here, so you can plug in a laptop and work. That's kind of cool. You've got 4 USBs down here, 2 regular ones and 2 micro USB or USB-Cs as you like to call them. That's pretty good. You've also got these mole connectors down here. So basically what they do is, if you can see the little straps, you can insert things there, like little attachments and stuff. Now I did say there's lots of space back here, but is it comfortable? Well, I've got space. I'd like a bit more backrest recline angle, but I suppose it's better than a Wrangler. If you ever sat in the back of a Wrangler, even the new JL, they aren't the most comfortable cars in the world. So, decent. I wouldn't want to go to like Tanzania in them. But this does has one cool feature. Let me see if I can get to it. Right down here. I think, yes. Moving this out of the way. Yep, I'm doing it. Okay. So, bear with me. So back here, there's a speaker like an actual boom box. It's rechargeable, it's waterproof, I believe, and you can just hook up Bluetooth to it and just play your tunes. What a cool idea. And once you put it back in here, of course, it charges. That's such a nice thing, although putting it back is not as easy as putting it in. To the front. I'm not going to waste your time with an interior walk around, because honestly, if you've seen a JL Wrangler in the last 3 years, you know exactly what to expect from the Gladiator. Pretty much all the same stuff. Great storage points here and there. Of course, USBs in the media socket down here, 2 USBs. Auxiliary switches for your upfitters out there who are putting lights and winches and the like. And of course, the all-important front and rear diff locks and sway bar. I wish I was on rocks. I wish I had the time with this car to take it on rocks to show you what it's like, but rest assured it works pretty well. This Offroad Plus is quite interesting. I wonder what that does. 2 spaces here to keep cups, and of course you can keep a smartphone down here in the middle. Quite handy. Yeah, I'm not going to really walk through this because there's no point. You know exactly what to expect. Let's see what it's like in the sand. So what's a Gladiator like on road? If you've driven a Wrangler in the last few years, you know what to expect, or so you think. Generally, it drives... How does it compare to a Wrangler? Well, it's got the same 8-speed automatic and the same V6 engine. So what it does have is generally more stable handling. The problem is, it's very understeering. Like the front really pulls the car around. There's almost no weight in the back. Other problems, it's quite noisy. You've got a lot of wind noise because this is basically a prison block traveling at speed through the air. So there isn't tire noise yet, but there is plenty and plenty more wind noise. Other problems, as you notice, this is not exactly straight, and that's because I'm having to hold the wheel to keep it straight. Like all Wranglers, it has frankly terrible steering. It's very loosey-goosey. That's good off-road because it doesn't jerk you about. But look how much play there is off-center. This is not a problem. This is how the car is designed. But that doesn't mean that people are used to it or like it. I'm not crazy about the steering. I've been in much more modern vehicles in the last 4 or 5 years. I've been in pickup trucks, I've been in Raptors. They don't steer like this. Now you could argue that's the cost you pay for a solid axle front end. I would argue that there must be an engineering solution to this. And the steering isn't great. I mean, it's light, but it doesn't have any feedback. Here's a good thing about long wheelbase. You go over a hump, you don't even feel it. It's got great Fox shocks as well. Braking, not great. Really not great. Here's probably like a solid front axle as opposed to an independent front suspension. The front is always chattering away, not through the steering wheel, which I would like feedback of, but through the body. The body is always going clonk, 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 and the back is also going pop, 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 pop in the back. So the two are going clonk, 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 pop, 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 and the whole thing is just going all the time. The car is a little bit unsteady, even on these big, fat 33-inch tires. I would like it to be more stable. These are things that engineers should be able to sort out. Power from the 8-speed automatic. Well, here's the thing about having a V6 engine as opposed to a turbo 4-cylinder or a V8. It doesn't develop a lot of torque down low. It's all mid-range and high-end. Now, the 8-speed is really good at keeping it in that power band, but it does mean that the car revs a lot more than you're probably used to. And I don't know if it's, again, something that people are going to like. A Wrangler, it's fine because a Wrangler is a lot lighter and you're not paying that much for it. In a Gladiator, you're paying a lot more and you expect a lot more oomph, and it just isn't there. I have no idea how to drive in the sand. I haven't tried it, but on road it's just okay. It's also constantly shuffling through the gears. Now, it just needs more torque. I think the power is fine, but this is just not what pickup truck buyers are used to. They want that low-end oomph. Not a problem with the Fords. The EcoBoost, they got plenty of punch off the line, but this car is a little bit wheezy. I wonder if it's the fault of these tires. We are on quite heavy 285 70s. But is that really an excuse? I don't know. It's also quite wearing to drive. Like, you can't see it on the camera, but the seat is constantly bobbing up and down as it detects little imperfections in the road. And it just gets tiring to drive that for long distances with this wind noise, coupled with generally the not so great seating position. Like, I mean, I want to say I like Wranglers. I owned a Wrangler for 3 years almost. So I know what these cars are like and I love them, but you have to admit that, oh, look at the steering, turning radius not so good. You have to admit they're not the most comfortable cars. The only thing you can do to make this car ride better than it is right now, which is, by the way, better than Wrangler. Gladiator does drive better than Wrangler. The only thing you can do is lift it, put it on even fatter tires, put it on nicer suspension, heavy duty suspension, and then it rides pretty well. Whereas a daily, it's kind of neither here nor there. And I'm not sure, as a Wrangler owner of yore, old Wranglers appealed to me on road. They had this like really charming archaic quality. This car, this is lacking a little bit of that magic. I'm not sure what the problem is. But on road, look at this body roll. Just look at it. Steering is very light. I wish there was more steering. Maybe if they put a manual gearbox, I would like it some more because there's more engagement. But right now, I have a situation where I'm not in a very comfortable seating position. The seats are quite hard. And then you're dealing with bumpy ride. You're dealing with wind noise. I don't know if it's good enough. Anyway, let's see what it's like in the desert, shall we? So I've added the tires down to 14 psi. I've put it into high range. I've put it into D. Turn traction control off. And let's find out what he does. There is an off-road mode as well, but that's really more for what I would describe as low-range rock crawling. It's quite bumpy today, so let's see. You know, it has one huge advantage over the regular one. Oh, it is nice. It is nice in the way that only Wrangler can do. Only Gladiator. Oh, it's nice. Yeah, okay, legit, it's nice. Just walks up there on these tires. I'm not even sure if it's a lifted car. It's so cool. Yeah, it is nice. Definitely. It's a lot of fun. Straight off the bat, it is a Wrangler. Rides pretty good compared to a regular Wrangler. I have to wonder what it's like when you put like really heavy duty like Kings and the like on it. It's cutting the sand beautifully. Oof. Yeah, this is what these cars were made to do, dare I say. Piece of cake, my son. Piece of cake. Really good, actually. Really good. And let's see what it's like down the infamous drop. Down the infamous drop. Piece of cake, really. Feels very agile. Feels very stable in the way the regular Wrangler doesn't. No, it feels very agile, very stable in the way the regular Wrangler is as well. So they've transported that to the Gladiator, but the back bed seems to really help it. Power is good on the sand. A lot of fun. I'm really liking it, actually. I know stability control is off. I know, because I turned it off. It's like I knew what I was doing. It is indeed what I was meant to do. Alright, let's take it over and drop. Woohoo! Woohoo! Piece of cake! I quite like it. Let's see, do a couple of climbs and see how it does. That's not what I meant in mind, but okay. So the gear does change up. Beautiful. The way it drives is really nice, actually. This is quite a surprise. Compared to a regular Wrangler, this has incredible stability on the side slopes. But also, just that extra length has made so much difference to the ride. Normally a Wrangler hops about. This is only 33s. Imagine you put it on 35s. Alright, let me do a couple of big climbs and put it to the test. The test is, of course, come on, 6,000 RPM. Interesting, so it's changing up and I don't want it to... Oh, you see, it's doing something I don't like, which is it changes up when it hits the red line, the rev limiter. That's not what I want here, but sideways stability is very good. Very good. Very balanced car. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, not a lot to complain about on the sand. So if you're buying it for off-road work, you are going to be extremely happy, madame or monsieur. Does the job. Gearbox is a little different. It seems to have a little bit of more of a mind of its own, but you know, still does the job. What a high-speed car. So much better at high speed than the regular Wrangler was. I'm having a whale of a time. What this car needs is like a V8 or something. It is such a hoot. Absolute hoot. Hilarious. Goofball of a car. Alright, let's just see on the infamous drop round 2. I wonder if it'll make it up the drop. There's only one way to know for sure. So let's see if she will actually do it. So let's see if it'll climb the infamous drop, which no car has ever been able to do. No car has ever been able to climb the drop. Let's see if she can climb the drop. Climb the drop, climb the drop. You know you can do it. It did it! And they went to the wrong gear. But I'll forgive it that because it's actually pretty good. Well done, Gladiator. You figured me out. I was kind of not sure about it on road. It was a little bit clumpy, a little all over the place. But off-road, it flies. It's kind of like a little mini Raptor in some ways. I think it would be a great off-road vehicle for high-speed desert stuff. Obviously in slower rocks and that kind of thing, maybe not ideal. But for going quick, I dare say you could make a good Raptor rival out of this for a lot less money. Maybe not as comfortable, definitely not as much power, but potential. A lot of potential. And the engine is switched off because it's fine. It's trying to save me petrol. Start-stop is still activated. And on that eco-friendly green note, thanks for watching. This is Imthishan. Like, share, subscribe, be my friend. Follow us on Instagram. See you soon.